Have you ever felt different? Like you see the world through a lens that others just don't seem to have? Maybe you pick up on details most people miss, or you find yourself overanalyzing things that others take at face value. Could it be that you're more intelligent than you realize? The truth is, intelligence isn't always loud. It doesn't always look like high grades, prestigious degrees, or a mind filled with trivia facts. Some of the sharpest minds in history have been underestimated, dismissed, or even labeled as odd because their intelligence wasn't obvious. In this video, we're uncovering the unspoken signs of high intelligence, the subtle, often overlooked traits that could mean you're secretly a genius. By the end, you might just see yourself in a completely new light. Let's begin. 1. You're insatiably curious. A high IQ isn't just about knowing things, it's about wanting to know things. If you're the type of person who can't just accept surface-level answers, who feels compelled to dig deeper, to question everything, and to explore topics far beyond what's necessary, you might have a level of intelligence that sets you apart. Geniuses don't settle for because that's how it is. They ask why. They challenge conventional thinking. They go down rabbit holes of information, sometimes spending hours researching a topic just for the sake of understanding it. Albert Einstein once said, "I have no special talents. I am only passionately curious." That's because intelligence isn't just what you already know. It's your drive to keep learning. If you've ever spent an entire night watching documentaries on quantum mechanics, dissecting philosophical debates, or studying a completely random topic just because it intrigued you, that's a major sign of hidden intelligence. 2. You overanalyze everything. Have you ever been accused of thinking too much? Maybe you replay conversations in your head, analyzing what was said, what wasn't said, and what it all might mean. Maybe you break down situations into intricate layers, spotting patterns and connections that others overlook. High intelligence often comes with deep analytical thinking. This means you don't just accept things at face value. You scrutinize, dissect, and mentally process things from every angle. While this can be a gift, helping you solve problems others struggle with, it can also be exhausting. Overthinking can make simple decisions feel overwhelming, and it can make social interactions feel complicated. But here's the thing. Your mind operates on a different level. Your ability to analyze is a superpower. It helps you see hidden meanings, anticipate outcomes, and understand things on a level that most people don't even consider. 3. You feel out of place in social settings. Do you ever feel like you just don't quite fit in? Like your brain is wired differently and you struggle to connect with people on a surface level? Many highly intelligent people experience a sense of social isolation, not because they're awkward or antisocial, but because their way of thinking is different. They crave deep, meaningful conversations, ones about philosophy, human nature, or the mysteries of the universe. But in everyday life, small talk can feel unbearable. Conversations about weather, gossip, or reality TV might make you feel completely disconnected. This doesn't mean you're socially incapable. It just means your mind is stimulated by deeper intellectual pursuits. If you've ever found yourself frustrated by the shallowness of typical social interactions, it might be because your intelligence is operating at a level that demands more. 4. You have an unusual sense of humor. One of the most overlooked signs of high intelligence? A sharp, often unusual sense of humor. Studies have shown that people with high intelligence often appreciate dark humor, dry wit, and complex wordplay. You might find yourself laughing at jokes that go over other people's heads, or you might love irony and satire. There's a reason for this. Humor requires cognitive processing speed and abstract thinking. Geniuses often play with language, see absurdities in everyday life, and understand subtle nuances that most people miss. If people have ever told you that your jokes are weird or too clever, that's not an insult. It's a sign that your mind is working at a different frequency. 5. You can't ignore your own thoughts. For highly intelligent people, their minds are always active. You might struggle to turn it off, constantly having new ideas, theories, and insights flood your brain. Even when you're trying to relax, your thoughts might pull you into deep contemplation. This is often why intelligent people struggle with insomnia, because their brains refuse to quiet down. If you've ever laid awake at night thinking about the meaning of life, analyzing past conversations, or coming up with groundbreaking ideas, you're not alone. This is a sign of what psychologists call divergent thinking. the ability to generate multiple ideas and perspectives at once. While it can be overwhelming, it also means you have a mind that is built for creativity, problem solving, and innovation. 6. You see patterns and connections. Others don't. Highly intelligent people have an unusual ability to recognize patterns. Whether it's in music, art, human behavior, or even random events, your brain naturally connects the dots in ways others don't. This can make you feel like you're predicting things before they happen, sensing underlying trends, or understanding complex systems with ease. Pattern recognition is a core component of intelligence. It's what allows geniuses to make breakthroughs, seeing connections where others see randomness. This is why many intelligent people excel in strategic thinking, mathematics, and creative problem solving. If you frequently notice hidden relationships between things, that's a sign your brain is operating at a higher level. 7. You're deeply emotional and sensitive. Contrary to popular belief, intelligence isn't just about logic. Many highly intelligent people are also deeply emotional and sensitive. You might feel things more intensely than others. You might have a heightened sense of empathy, absorbing emotions like a sponge. You might even be affected by things that others brush off: music, art, injustice, or even the emotions of people around you. This is because intelligence and emotional depth often go hand in hand. Your ability to think deeply extends to your emotions. You don't just experience feelings, you analyze them, understand them, and sometimes even predict them in others. This can make you more compassionate, but it can also make life overwhelming. The world's problems can weigh heavily on you because you see and feel things on a deeper level. But here's the upside. This emotional intelligence gives you an incredible ability to connect with others, to understand human nature, and to see beauty in ways most people can't. 8. You struggle with perfectionism. At first glance, perfectionism might seem like a personality quirk rather than a sign of intelligence. But in reality, many highly intelligent people struggle with an intense desire for perfection. Why? Because intelligence allows you to see what's possible. You have a vision of how things should be. Whether it's a project, a creative endeavor, or even your own personal growth, you have high standards that others might see as excessive. You don't just want to do things well, you want them to be flawless. This can be both a gift and a curse. On one hand, it drives you to excellence, but on the other, it can lead to procrastination, self-doubt, and frustration when things don't turn out as perfectly as you imagined. If you've ever scrapped an entire project because it didn't meet your standards, or spent hours refining something that was already good enough, that's a sign of your highly intelligent mind striving for the best. 9. You experience imposter syndrome. Despite being highly intelligent, you might struggle with the feeling that you're not as smart as people think you are. This is called imposter syndrome, and it's surprisingly common among brilliant minds. Here's why. Highly intelligent people are hyper-aware of what they don't know. Instead of feeling confident in their knowledge, they constantly see gaps in their understanding. They compare themselves to the greatest minds in history, thinking, if I were really smart, wouldn't I know more? Meanwhile, those with lower intelligence often feel overconfident because they're unaware of what they don't know. This is known as the Dunning-Kruger effect, the phenomenon where people with lower ability overestimate their skills, while highly capable people doubt themselves. So if you sometimes feel like a fraud, like you're just faking being smart, that's actually a sign of your intelligence. The fact that you question yourself means you're thinking deeply, and that's exactly what brilliant minds do. 10. You're highly adaptable. Have you ever found yourself adjusting quickly to new situations? Do you instinctively figure things out, even when thrown into unfamiliar territory? One of the most powerful signs of intelligence is adaptability. True intelligence isn't just about what you know. It's about your ability to learn, adjust, and think on your feet. Whether you're in a new job, a different social environment, or facing an unexpected problem, you can quickly analyze the situation and find a way to navigate it. This flexibility allows highly intelligent people to thrive in diverse settings, making them excellent problem solvers and innovators. It's why many geniuses excel in multiple disciplines. They can apply their intelligence across different fields. If you're someone who easily picks up new skills, adjusts to change, or thrives in unpredictability, that's a huge indicator of high intelligence. 11. You are easily bored. Do you find yourself getting restless when things become too predictable? Do repetitive tasks or routine conversations make you feel drained? Highly intelligent people often crave mental stimulation. They need challenges, complexity, and novelty to stay engaged. This is why many intelligent individuals struggle in traditional school or work environments. If the tasks feel too simple, they become disengaged. It's not that they're lazy, it's that their brains demand more. This is also why intelligent people jump between interests. They master one thing, then quickly move on to the next. They constantly need new intellectual challenges to keep their minds active. If you've ever abandoned hobbies or lost interest in something as soon as it became too easy, that's not a lack of discipline. It's your brain's need for stimulation. 12. You have a love-hate relationship with solitude. Have you ever felt a deep craving for alone time? Not because you dislike people, but because your mind functions best in solitude? Many highly intelligent people feel a strange disconnect from others. They enjoy deep conversations and meaningful relationships, but at the same time, they need solitude to recharge. Solitude allows them to think, reflect, and explore ideas without distraction. Some of the greatest minds in history, Einstein, Newton, Tesla, spent long periods in isolation, not because they were antisocial, but because they needed space to let their ideas evolve. If you find yourself retreating into your own world, enjoying deep contemplation, or needing alone time after socializing, that's a sign of your intelligence at work. 13. You often talk to yourself. This one might sound strange, but talking to yourself is a strong indicator of intelligence. Why? Because verbalizing thoughts helps highly intelligent people process information, organize ideas, and clarify their thinking. Psychologists call this external self-talk, and studies show that people who talk to themselves tend to be more focused, better problem solvers, and have higher cognitive abilities. So if you've ever caught yourself having full conversations with yourself, whether out loud or in your head, it's not weird. It's actually your brain working at peak efficiency. 14. You experience frequent existential crises. Does your mind frequently wander to big questions about the universe, life's purpose, human nature, and the meaning of it all? Highly intelligent people often struggle with existential thoughts because their minds are wired to seek understanding. They don't just accept life as it is, they constantly question it. While this can lead to deep insights and philosophical breakthroughs, it can also make life feel overwhelming. The weight of existence, the complexities of human nature, and the vastness of the universe can sometimes feel like too much to process. If you've ever found yourself lying awake at night questioning reality, you're not alone. That's just what a highly intelligent mind does. It never stops searching for meaning. 15. You can see multiple perspectives at once. One of the most unique signs of high intelligence is the ability to hold multiple viewpoints simultaneously. Most people think in black and white. They see things as right or wrong, good or bad, true or false. But highly intelligent individuals live in the gray area. They understand that most issues are complex and multidimensional. This ability to see multiple perspectives allows intelligent people to be excellent debaters, problem solvers, and mediators. But it also makes decision-making difficult because they see all the possibilities at once. If you often find yourself playing devil's advocate, considering all sides of an issue, or struggling to pick a side because you understand both, that's a sign of a highly advanced mind. 16. You often feel lonely even in a crowd. Highly intelligent people often experience a deep sense of loneliness, not because they don't want connections, but because they struggle to find people who truly understand them. Their thoughts run deeper than most conversations. Their interests might not align with those around them. They crave intellectual stimulation, deep discussions, and genuine connection. But those things can be rare in everyday social settings. It's not that they don't enjoy people. It's that they long for something more. This is why many intelligent individuals are drawn to books, art, philosophy, and online communities where they can find like-minded thinkers. If you've ever felt like an outsider, like you don't fully belong, that might not be a flaw. It might be a reflection of your mind's depth. The upside? When highly intelligent people do find true connections, those bonds tend to be incredibly deep and meaningful. 17. You have a hard time switching off. For many intelligent individuals, relaxing is difficult. Their minds are constantly active, thinking, analyzing, imagining, creating. Even during moments of rest, their brains don't fully shut down. This is why many highly intelligent people struggle with overthinking before bed, restlessness during downtime, a constant need for mental engagement. You might feel like you need to be doing something productive at all times. Even watching TV or listening to music isn't always passive. You might analyze the themes, break down the lyrics, or critique the storytelling. This can make relaxation feel impossible, but it also means your brain is always growing, always evolving. The key is finding activities that allow your mind to engage while also giving it room to breathe, like reading, writing, or deep conversations that spark new ideas. 18. You have a natural ability to learn things quickly. Have you ever picked up a skill way faster than others? Highly intelligent people often have an unusual ability to absorb new information, whether it's a new language, an instrument, or a complex concept. They can see patterns, break down processes, and grasp ideas without needing endless repetition. This is because of high cognitive flexibility, the brain's ability to shift between different ways of thinking. This is why highly intelligent individuals tend to teach themselves new skills or become self-taught experts in various fields. If you've ever jumped into a new subject and excelled almost immediately, that's a sign of a sharp, adaptable mind. 19. You struggle with authority and blind obedience. Highly intelligent individuals question everything, including authority. It's not that they're rebellious for the sake of it, it's that they have a deep need to understand why things are the way they are. If a rule, tradition, or belief doesn't make sense to them, they won't just accept it blindly. This can make them frustrated in school or work environments where creativity is stifled. Challengers of conventional thinking. Resistant to arbitrary authority. This is why many highly intelligent people thrive in independent careers where they can follow their own logic rather than conforming to rigid systems. If you've ever been called difficult or stubborn just because you refuse to follow something without reason, that's actually a hallmark of genius. 20. You are drawn to complexity. Where others seek simplicity, you are fascinated by complexity. Whether it's a difficult book, a deep philosophical question, or a multi-layered problem, you're drawn to things that require intense thought. You don't just accept surface-level explanations. You want to explore the deeper truths. This is why intelligent people are often obsessed with puzzles, mysteries, psychology, philosophy, and intellectual challenges. Their minds thrive in depth. If you find yourself more interested in why things are the way they are, rather than just the facts themselves, that's your intelligence seeking understanding beyond the obvious. 21. You experience intense periods of obsession. One of the strangest traits of high intelligence? Hyperfixation. Many highly intelligent individuals experience periods of intense obsession with specific topics, ideas, or hobbies. They'll go all in, spending weeks, months, or even years fully immersing themselves in one subject before moving on to the next. This is why geniuses often master multiple disciplines. If you've ever gone on deep research spirals that last for days, obsessively learned everything about a niche topic, devoted yourself to a hobby only to lose interest once you've figured it out, that's a sign of a highly curious, deeply intelligent brain. 22. You struggle with motivation. Unless you're passionate. One of the most misunderstood traits of intelligent people? They aren't motivated by traditional rewards. They thrive when they're passionate. But when they aren't, they struggle to stay engaged. This is why highly intelligent people might excel in certain areas but struggle in school or work settings, lose interest in jobs that feel repetitive, struggle with tasks that don't intellectually stimulate them. They need purpose, meaning, and mental challenge to stay motivated. If something doesn't spark their curiosity, they find it almost impossible to force themselves to care. This isn't laziness. It's a sign that their brain operates on a different wavelength. 23. You can predict outcomes before they happen. Highly intelligent people have a knack for predicting how things will unfold. Because of their deep pattern recognition skills, they can anticipate how people will react in social situations, which trends will take off before they do, how a situation will play out before it even begins. This is why they might feel frustrated when others don't see what's obvious to them. Their ability to predict isn't magic. It's just heightened perception and logic. If you've ever felt like you could see the future in a way others couldn't, that's a sign of your ability to process complex patterns quickly. 24. You have a deep appreciation for art, music, and creativity. Highly intelligent people often have an emotional connection to art, music, and storytelling. Why? Because intelligence isn't just about logic, it's also about emotion, intuition, and depth. This is why many geniuses throughout history were also artists, musicians, and poets. If you've ever felt deeply moved by a piece of music, a painting, or a story in a way others didn't seem to understand, that's your intelligence engaging with the world on an artistic level. 25. You see the world differently. At the end of the day, the biggest unspoken sign of high intelligence is this: you see the world differently. Where others see normality, you see patterns, questions, connections, and possibilities. Your mind isn't just absorbing information, it's constantly rearranging, reinterpreting, and reimagining it. This is what separates ordinary thinkers from extraordinary ones. So if you've ever felt like your brain operates on a different level, like you don't fit into traditional molds, or like you're too much for the world around you, it might not be a flaw. It might just be the unspoken reality of your intelligence. Did you see yourself in these traits? Do you recognize the signs of intelligence within you? Drop a comment below and let's discuss. Because sometimes the most brilliant minds are the ones who never realize their own genius.